live. We're as live as we can get.
We are on JuniorHonduras' YouTube channel and on Prime's YouTube and Facebook. So if you're here, say hello. Looks like we've already got some comments
What's
coming in.
going on, guys?
My name's Andrea.
I'm JuniorHonduras.
Oh, I put them on backwards. Tell us about yourself, Junior.
Well, I've been here at Prime almost 10 years. I am a PSD trainer, PSD instructor, TNT trainer. I got 4 trucks here within Prime myself, and I'm part of the DAB board. So that's what I was here doing yesterday. And Andrew's gonna have a little bit more about that on what was covered yesterday, because there was a lot of stuff covered.
Awesome. There's a lot. Hey, everybody. Everyone's commenting.
Who are you?
Said comments are turned off. They're not turned off. They
Who are
should
you?
be.
Who are
I'm
you?
Andrea. Nice to see you guys. So yesterday was a driver advisory board. That was our first driver advisory board meeting in person since last February, right before everything went down. So it was really awesome to see everybody. We all had to get tested, and we were super spaced out, and it was just really cool. We got a ton of ideas. We got multiple things addressed already. We might be getting ping pong tables. That was a big talk. I promise there's more to the driver advisory board than ping pong tables.
Right.
But one of the things that came up was we have a big announcement, sorry, but first we want to cover this. The on-hold message for the live loaded calls, there was an error, and somehow you guys were getting sent to the driver health and fitness voicemail, so it's been fixed.
I never experienced that myself, but I heard about it. I was like,
we had several people complain, and they brought it up again yesterday, and it has been fixed. And then what was the other thing?
There was a lot of things.
Yeah, there was a lot of things.
a lot of things.
We're going to try to have meeting minutes or notes to send out to everybody on the app, hopefully within the next couple of weeks, so look out for that. We're trying to get people assigned to tasks to get completed before we send that out. All right, so what else? I help with media, onboarding, recruiting. I'm not an active recruiter, but I help with that department. So we're here today to announce, what are we announcing?
The training update.
Yes.
The miles required to upgrade. It used to be 50,000, and it is now 30,000.
30,000. So this is just as of this week, literally. They just decided this week to put this into play. So if you're currently in our training program and you're above the 30,000 mark, your fleet manager should be in contact with you already, or we'll get in contact with you soon. Feel free to call your fleet manager to discuss. This is still the same thing as before. It's upgrade eligibility of 30,000. So they're going to look at your safety, service, tickets. If you've had any issues, they can extend that. But we reviewed, we've taken feedback, and they have moved it back to 30,000. So very exciting.
Yes, for those of you out there on the road now, that I'm sure that's exciting news. You know, at the end of the day, you have to make sure you're ready. You know, if you need a little bit more training, there's nothing wrong with that, but always make sure that you're ready to upgrade, because it ain't just about getting off the truck and upgrading. So make sure you're ready.
We did get some questions in here. Let me see. So when will the 30,000 take effect? So technically it officially goes into effect on the 8th, but it's retroactive. So anybody that's currently in the training program, it's going to apply to you. So we are currently updating our PDFs materials website. So if you go to the website, primeinc.com, it has been updated on there just as of like this last hour. But we had some people calling in yesterday and they're like, Prime's lying, or it's a rumor or whatever. No, it's just we weren't able to update everything as quickly as we'd like. So 30,000 miles from Kyle Johnson. How long does that take to complete?
Well, it depends on the trainer. It also depends on you. If the trainer takes home time, then it's going to take a little longer. But if you run in back to back to back, then it's going to take at least 6 weeks. You know, and then we'll say 7 to be exact. But then again, it depends on the trainer. Home time and breakdown. You know, nobody's expecting breakdown, but not saying it couldn't happen. But yeah, roughly 6-7 weeks.
Yeah, so we have a lot of freight. Somebody said our turnover is too high, so we need to fill seats. That's not true. We previously had it at 30,000. We've had it in the past up to 100,000. We've done 60,000, I think, before.
I don't know about 100,000, but when I came in, it was 60,000.
It was before you started. There was
when I came in, it was 30,000.
Yeah.
And then it was 60,000 before that. Then they went up to 50,000. Now we're back to 30,000.
They really just want me to have job security and be able to update all the materials every day. I'm like, really, guys? Like, I just got everything updated, I feel like. But we hope that you find this as good news. If somebody commented here, sorry, I'm trying to keep up with everything. Barry Harbison said 30,000 is fairly common from what I see in the industry. Yeah, a lot of competitors, carriers out there, our drivers are saying, well, they only make me do this. we tried to take in feedback from our fleet, from our trainers, look at success that we've had in the past, and we feel like this is the right move. We do want to say it's $30,000 for refrigerated and flatbed, and it's $25,000 for tanker.
Okay.
Yeah, so tanker, they do run a little bit less miles on average, so it's a little bit less for them. And then the way the pay works, it'll go back to that $700 per week for the first 30,000 miles, and then upgrade at 30. If you want to stay on the track, or if you have an accident or issue or something, then after you hit 40,000, we go to $800 per week, like the old program. But the goal is to upgrade you at 30,000 if you're ready. But you can always stay on your trainer's truck if you don't, feel ready to upgrade. No one's going to push you to get into a truck if you don't feel ready. And that we have a lot of drivers that do that, especially over the winter.
Yeah.
Joseph Rice said, when I was there, it was 30,000 was doable in 2.5 months. Not bad. I was away from home for 9 weeks. So yeah, it'll depend on you and your trainer. You want to have a conversation when you go on the trainer's truck about home time, kind of if you need to get home.
How it's going to work out and whatnot. You always have to have a plan. If it's something that you're not looking to do or something, definitely say something, but talk to the trainer and then go from there.
So this is another good question. Joe Starkey said, just for clarification, what is the mileage requirement for no experience with CDL? So if you're coming from a CDL school, it's been reduced to 40,000. So it was, right? Did I say that right? You're looking at me weird. It was 60,000 and now it's 40,000. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Don't do that to me.
I had to think about what you were saying.
Like, wait a second. So yeah. It is, if you're coming from a CDL school as a graduate, or if you're coming in as a C seat, was what we call it, you would do 40,000 training miles. Let's see. So some of you guys are saying this is terrible, whatever, bad idea. So we have a lot of data, and Junior knows from being in the driver advisory board, we are like crazy about reviewing data and research, and it's not a crazy idea. It was 30,000 for several years, and we feel like this is the right move.
And at the end of the day, you guys make that decision. If you are not ready, or vice versa, that is all on you. At the end of the day, the dispatchers and the trainers have to sign off on the students to say if they're ready or not. Obviously, if there's any issues, you'll definitely want to say something. Don't just
Well,
stay
we're going
on
to
the
be
truck.
looking at critical events, safety, incidents, tickets. Any of that is going to push it out further. So we're in service.
Right.
You can't have any service failures. Hassan has a good question here. In order to get your CDL, how many times can you take it?
They say 3 times, but they'll work with you. If they see you're showing improvement, you can definitely take it a 4th time and whatnot. I've seen people 6 times, but then again, it's on a case-to-case basis. If you're showing improvement, they'll work with you. If they see that, he doesn't care, or they don't really show that they really want to get their CDL, then 3 times you're out.
So if you guys just tuned in, some people are saying, what was the announcement? Sorry. And it's lagging on here. So I apologize for that. But I'm Andrea and this is Junior. And we have just announced that they are changing the training mileage requirement to upgrade through our prime training program from 50 back down to 30, which is what it was for several years. So it's exciting. We haven't updated all our materials yet, so you may still see 50 on some stuff, but it has moved to 30. Driver lineup said, this is excellent news. Thank you so much for explaining in great detail. 30,000 is a sweet spot for most safe drivers, and really happy to see this change. Thanks. We just saw him in the cafe.
Yeah.
So, a lot of opinions here.
Let me see over here.
Chicken pot pie. Love the name. I like the idea that the trainer and trainee have more of a voice when the driver is ready. Yes, we definitely believe it's all about communication.
No, the training cannot be done in Spanish. Somebody was asking me, can the training be done in Spanish? And no, it all would have to be in English. And if you got a Spanish-speaking instructor or trainer, then that would be a plus, but it's not guaranteed.
Lionel said, we've been having questions about when they sleep. Please reconfirm to all that is the bottom bunk when rolling. Yes, for safety, what is the requirement when the truck is moving?
Wait, say it again. I just read another message.
Yeah, Nikki Yost is giving you crap.
Yes.
He said, when the truck is moving, if you're in TNT training, where can you sleep?
If the TNT phase, where you guys are driving team like miles, then the student has to sleep on the bottom bunk. No top bunk sleeping. If that is happening, guys, reach out to your dispatcher or somebody, because that needs to get taken care of ASAP. If you're doing it by choice, me as a trainer, you wouldn't be on my truck. Because it's either the bottom bunk or you get off the truck.
Bottom bunk or the bottom bunk. Lots of options. Yes, it is a safety a deal. So you need to be on the bottom bunk. If you are experiencing any issues, like I said, you got to speak up. You got to let us know. We don't have cameras, in those trucks, so we can't see what's going on. You got to speak up and let us know. Your fleet manager is going to be your first line of defense. You go to them, night dispatch if it's at night or weekends, and then if you can't get to them, there's the security department's available 24/7, 417-521-3911. It's in the app. And there's like several other people here. You can call our main line. We're always going to help you out. So you just gotta let us know.
Yeah.
So someone said, so I'm trying to keep up with all the comments here. This is great, guys.
Nikki. Hi, Nikki. Nikki Yost is the recruiter I work with, guys. So if you guys have any questions, send them over to me and then I'll get with Nikki if you are not able to reach out to her. But if you can't reach out to her, then leave her a message. She's usually good about getting back to you guys.
Okay, here we go. Here's the question. Does this apply for students who just started TNT? Yes. This officially starts on Monday, but they've already started routing drivers in who are past that 30,000. So it's retroactive. So if you are currently at Prime and you were told 50, it's now going to be 30. Granted that you have no accidents, no service failures, no all that stuff. So it's based on service, safety, truck availability. If you have any questions, talk to your fleet manager. They're the ones that get you approved and sign up for upgrade.
Yeah. Let me see over here.
Sorry, I'm trying to.
How many miles if I have a CDL Class A with no recent experience? Well, that will depend on how recent it was. If you got some, then that would, once you apply, they would check and let you know how to go about that. But it would be case-to-case basis on that. How many miles for students coming in? 30,000. That's what the announcement was here.
John Fornwall. Yeah, how's it going? He said 30,000 felt like 100,000.
With David H.
That's funny. Sorry, there's something wrong with the Facebook is broken on here. So hopefully you guys can still hear us and see us. But if you're tuning in, 30,000. Nathan Anthony said, did the DAB discuss the new Peterbilt model? What was Drew Martin's take on that?
They're still waiting to see what they're going to do about it. But I think they're saying they're not getting any more Peterbilts. I think orders. I mean,
what?
Because they're going to wait on the new model.
Oh, yeah. I thought you meant forever. I'm like, no.
No, they're waiting on the new model.
Yeah, they're trying to decide if they're going to move to the new
model. Right. But
not.
the orders are coming. I think their orders are being until January or something like that. So.
Yeah. So this is a good question. I don't know this, and that's what, when they announce this, I'm like, what are the details here? For those that went at team at 30,000 to upgrade early can go back now instead of teaming for 4 months. You need to reach out to your fleet manager to confirm that. I'm not 100% sure on the answer. I would assume yes, but it's going to take 2 to 3 weeks at least to move everybody through the process that's over the 30,000 mark. So reach out to your fleet manager, and if they have any questions, you can reach out to me directly. But I would assume yes. All right, here we go. This is a great question here from Chris. He said, how many weeks would I have to be away from home for training, and do you hire out of SoCal? So can you answer the home time?
Well, home time, again, it all depends, but I would say a good 8 weeks, 6 to 8 weeks, before you go home, because the first phase is the PSD part, and then you come back, get your CDL, and then you run a couple weeks TNT, and then you go home and switch out your license, or you get your CDL hard copy. So that's what I tell people, 6 to 8 weeks before you go home. So
just on the safe side, plan on that for that first chunk of time, and then we try to get you home every 3 to 4 weeks.
Right. Well, it all depends,
You and the trainer. Some people like to knock out the TNT training miles as quickly as they can and not take home time or take minimal home time. And some need to get home to see their families or whatever. So it's a conversation you need to have with your trainer and be upfront when you get on their truck or before you get on their truck. This is another good question. When do classes start for the Prime Training Program? They currently start, we have them in Springfield, Missouri, Salt Lake City, Utah, and Pittston, Pennsylvania, and they start every Monday and Wednesday currently. All right, you got any on yours?
No.
Sorry.
No. What about hazmat endorsements? Notice on Prime site on driver app qualifications. The hazmat on the driver qualifications, is that a required here at Prime?
It's required that you're eligible to get hazmat, passport, TWIC, because we will ask you to get those once you get hired on here, but you don't have to have them coming in. If you're coming in with your permit, in some states, it's hard to or impossible to get the hazmat added before you get your CDL. So just talk to your recruiter about that and they can walk you through that. The only thing we require up front when you come in is your tanker endorsement. Again, with that, in some states, especially with COVID, some people are having trouble getting that added right now. So you have to let your recruiter know so they can notate in the file, and you would just commit to getting that added as soon as you can get an appointment with your DMV.
Yeah.
All right, Robert Vasquez says, is this applying for all new drivers going to Prime? Yes.
Yeah.
This is for everybody, whether you're here or coming in. They're going through the list right now of everybody that's over 30,000 miles that is currently here to get them scheduled for upgrade. So Cajun driver said his orientation always at the closest terminal. So how does that work? Junior, do you know?
Yeah, I mean, it usually works out that way where you go to the closest, like let's say if you live in the Northeast, they would either send you to Pittston, but if there's anything different, then they would send you over to Springfield, Missouri, but normally you would go to the nearest terminal.
Yeah. Typically your nearest one, with COVID, there's some different stuff going on there, but just ask recruiting, they can confirm for you. And we do offer rental cars now. We partnered with Enterprise over the last couple months, and we can get your rental car to orientation. We heard your complaints about the bus company that we typically go through. They are a nationwide provider, and they're just easy to be able to get people from across the country. But rental cars, hopefully a much better choice for you guys. Trucker John said, great info, maybe I'll become a trainer now. If you're interested in becoming a trainer, we would love to talk to you about that. The qualifications are you have to have at least 9 months of experience. You have to meet certain fuel mileage goals, safety goals. So talk to your fleet manager and they can let you know if you qualify. And if not now, they'll let you know what you have to do to qualify in the future.
I got one here. It says, can you drive flatbed or refrigerator if you live in West Palm Beach?
West Palm Beach is like right at the cutoff, right?
Yeah.
So you can do refrigerator or flatbed. It would be, everything out of Florida is going to be OTR. So OTR for us is out at least 3 to 4 weeks at a time away from home. And then for company drivers, you earn 1 day of home time for every week that you're out. So if you're out 3 weeks, typically 3 days, 4 weeks would be 4 days. And there is some flexibility on that. So you just work with your fleet manager about home time.
The nearest terminal to California would be Salt Lake City, Utah.
Aaron, nice to see you today. Yeah, it's hard to recognize everybody with masks. I'm sorry. But it was nice to see you. The cafe was like buzzing with people today.
Yeah.
Awesome to see. I'm still technically working at home and it's quite boring. So I'm ready to be back on site full time. Bobby said, so with this being said, how long will I wait for a truck be since there'll be so many students coming in? That's why I said it's going to be 2 to 3 week process. Yeah. So you'll get with your fleet manager and they can let you know when you'll be able to get in. It's not going to be instantaneous. There's still restrictions on how many people can be in certain live classes for upgrades. So talk to them and they can let you know.
Talk to them ASAP, because if there's going to be a waiting list to get a truck, you want to be put on that list as soon as you can. Because if not, by the time you'll run another 10,000, 5,000 miles. So get on there as soon as you can.
Yep. If you think you're qualified, if you've met the mark and haven't had any safety issues, service issues, talk to your fleet manager. We do have plenty of trucks available, but they do need, like when there's a new truck, they get worked through the system.
Right.
It can take it's a process. It can take a while. Someone said, heard about a new mini terminal, Minnesota?
No, mini terminal. I think they're referring to the tanker one that in Minooka.
Oh, maybe, yeah.
But
I've
no.
never heard of that town.
Minooka, Illinois. They're gonna build something for the tanker there. But I don't know if it'll be.
They said it's not gonna be like a full terminal, but I think they're talking about shops and stuff.
Right, it's gonna have a washout for the reefers and tankers. So
yeah, we just purchased that recently. So if that's what you're talking about, yes. Kyle Johnson said, "Is Illinois accepting your training?" Yes, we hire from all over 48 states, and for our training program, we hire we bring in drivers from everywhere except for Washington currently.
And then Florida is
West Palm Beach and up.
Yeah.
So basically, you go to the bottom of Lake Okeechobee, and that's where the line is. We hire above that, and the reason for that isn't because we don't like South Florida. It's beautiful, but we don't have enough freight that consistently gets down there.
And out.
Right?
Get there and out.
In and out, yeah. So we want to make sure, since our drivers take their trucks home with them, that there'd be enough freight in your area. How does it work if they have their Class B?
Well, I think they have to go through the whole process. The whole process with getting their CDL.
Yeah, the only thing that's a little bit quicker, because we have a lot of people that come in with Class B, is that for the permit test, you only have to take one section. You have to take the combination.
The combination, yeah.
Yeah. You already have taken general and air brakes for, do I have that right?
Yeah.
For Class B. Trucker John said intermodal in Northern California. Right now we do have intermodal out of Southern California. So if you're interested in that, just reach out to recruiting. We also have intermodal opportunities in the Midwest, specifically around like the Illinois area. When is the Prime website going to be updated? Well, I updated the training page today with the 30,000 miles, but I'm working. We were in the driver advisory board meeting all day yesterday, and I'm working on getting all the stuff updated, but it's a process. So bear with me, but it is 30,000, and recruiters have the updated PDF. I sent that to them this morning, so if you want the updated PDF, just reach out to them and they can shoot you an email with it. Shannon Walden said, should I get a Twit Card before coming, or is it easier to get it with us? It's up to you, personal preference. Some people like to knock it out and get it done, but we do have a Twit office in our Springfield, Missouri terminal in the Plaza building. It's in the basement with the training, or the lower level with the training program department, and they're available Monday through Friday. Do you know how much it is currently?
I was going to say, it'll break it down into 2 payments. I think it's $62 a week, $62.50 a week. So
for 2 weeks.
Yeah, so it's $125.
There's a good question for you, Junior. What if you want to do manual training? I don't want any restriction. That's the only thing holding me back from Prime.
Oh, man. You and many more. There's only a limited, I think it's less than a handful of people that have a manual truck that still do training. And the odds of getting a trainer that still has a manual truck is slim.
It's like a unicorn in the fleet. We transitioned over, and you have a manual because you bought your truck.
Right. I do have a manual.
Anyone that has a current Prime truck that's under like a company or lease standard program, those are all automatic.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, it's not something we can offer, so we don't want to be misleading on that at all.
But automatics are good, guys. They're good.
Yeah, they used to be a huge hindrance to have that restriction. We actually used to not be able to hire people with the restriction because we only had manuals. So it was a big deal in the past, but when we made the decision to switch over, it was around 2015, and at that point, over 50% of the industry was already automatic, and now it's an even larger chunk. So if you come here, and do your 1 year, and then you want to go somewhere else, a lot of companies have automatics now, so it's not a huge deal, and you can get it removed if you have somebody with a manual truck, you can go to the DMV and get it removed. All right. This is one we talked about yesterday.
Yes.
The B said how difficult it is to change divisions once hired. So we have 4 divisions here: refrigerated, flatbed, tanker, and intermodal. We do not have a drive-in division. A lot of people think we do. If you want to switch, each division has different requirements. But for tanker, it's 6 months in refrigerated, and then you can switch over with the boot camp.
The tanker one, the boot camp. And you would only do the boot camp for the tanker. But as far as the refrigerated, I don't really know. I haven't had many of those, but I mean, who would they reach out to?
Yeah, if you're interested in division change, you just talk to your fleet manager. They actually have to initiate, it's a process in the system, and have to get approval before you can switch over. They're not going to let you switch over if you're on bad terms with your current division. Yeah. But a lot of people do switch divisions, and it's totally fine, totally normal. But each one has a little bit different. Refrigerated is the easiest because it doesn't require any specialized training like flatbed and tanker does. So it's easier to make that switch. If you're going to flatbed and tanker, they're going to require the boot camp or securement class, something to make sure you know how to use the equipment that is relevant to them. And you do have to switch your truck, which is a big deal to some people. They don't want to switch trucks, but the trucks are specifically set up for each division. There's
a question here that says, does being unemployed for a long period of time affect me coming and being hired to get Prime?
It just depends on what you were, what you were doing. Stay-at-home moms, we see that a lot. We see people that were unemployed due to COVID. So we've really loosened our employment history, work qualifications, because we know it's been tough this past year specifically. And just talk with your recruiter. If you apply, give your recruiter a call so we can talk through that. It's really hard on our end because we get such a high volume of applications. If you just leave employment blank and then don't put any reasoning and don't call us and don't answer our phone calls, it's hard to move forward. So give us a call. We do make exceptions all the time. We just want to know, what you're doing, and if you commit to us, we want to know that you're gonna be motivated and want to fulfill at least a year with us.
There's another question here. When are the When are they going to bring back the Friday meetings to the terminals?
It's a good question. I was just talking to Dennis Davis this week about that. We don't have an ETA yet. We're slowly getting back. We're doing a virtual one each week now. I'm trying to get them back to Fridays, but the last 2 weeks we've done them on Tuesday, and then tomorrow we're going to do them, what's tomorrow? Thursday. We'll do it at 12:45. I'm like, pick a day and a time and stick with it. I'd like to move back to Friday. I feel like that.
Right.
Everybody was used to that for like 20 years. But our goal is to bring them back and get on site and do them, just not yet. I think they want to wait till everyone has the availability to get vaccines locally here. And right now in Missouri, we're one of the last on the list. So there's people that want them that still haven't been able to get them. Here's a good one. Shannon said it. I was going to start last year and got cold feet. I talked to Nikki most of the year, or this year, and was a little early on the application part. So if you apply and you change your mind, it's normal. People get nervous. We were talking yesterday about just fear is a normal feeling. It's a big change for people. Talking about like me going out and training and getting my CDL, and I'm terrified, but I think it would be cool to do. But it's normal. We hear that all the time. So if you apply, get cold feet, you can reapply. There's no wait time or anything like that. We just want to make sure if we're processing your application, running reports, we typically don't do it more than 2 times. Unless there's a really good reason. So, because it costs like $200 to $500 to run those reports on your files. Yeah. And we just don't want to, some people will just tease us along if we never make them commit. So, go ahead and reapply. We'd love to talk to you again. Long story short. All right.
Says I haven't driven a truck in in 6 years. No, but I have 3+ years experience. What do I have to do to get with Prime? Well, if you haven't driven a truck in 6 years, you would have to go through the whole process here, the PSD and the TNT. And the PSD part of the training is where they teach you to get your CDL and stuff. But he would just get a refresher, or would he have to go through the whole thing?
If you haven't driven with your CDL in over a year, typically you have to do our entire training program.
Okay.
The first phase will be a little bit quicker because you don't have to pass the CDL if you have an active CDL. But you would take like an assessment. And we usually like to do like a refresher period locally. For 1 to 2 weeks. It just depends on your skill set. So some people may still have all their skills and not need refreshing, but the trucks have changed, the equipment has changed. Right. So we just want to make sure before you go in that TNT phase with somebody that you're ready and not gonna, your TNT trainer needs you to be ready.
Yeah.
So you can get going. So Rhino the Trucker said over here, is the 30,000 miles going to affect for current students or new students from this day forward? It's going to affect for everybody as of 3/8. So they're already calling people as of this week. I think today or yesterday they started calling in drivers that are over that 30,000 mark to start routing in. So you'll hear it. You'll hear people talking about it. People are excited. It's a big deal. I need to look it up, but we had 30,000 for years. Like we had memorized. Everyone had 30,000.
How long have we been doing the 50,000? Almost 2 years, ain't it?
It's been a while. Yeah. It was annoying. I'm the one that updates most of the stuff on the front end. So I'm like, just make up your mind. But like I said, it's been more in the past, it's been less. And Prime is we change stuff all the time. We take feedback, we change things, we see what works. And, we're just excited that people will be able to upgrade sooner now and get to that higher earning level.
Again, at the end of the day, you have to make sure you're ready.
Yeah.
Be sure you're ready with the knowledge and stuff, and get with the trainer that's going to get you right. Teach you the stuff, ask questions, definitely ask questions. So
yeah. Daniel said, are you getting a rack of vaccines? I haven't heard anybody rack of magazines we have, but I don't know specifically. Trinity Healthcare is managing some of that. And if you're a driver and you're currently wanting one, the best route that they're telling everybody is to try to go through your home state, because Missouri is like 48th on the list or 47th or something out of the distribution list. So we're slower here. So yeah, check through your local provider first, healthcare provider. You can also reach out to Trinity Healthcare directly and discuss it with them. And then Joe said, are there veteran incentives to read about on the Prime website? So we don't have higher pay or anything like that or bonuses for veterans, but we do a reduced contract.
Yeah.
So if you're a U.S. veteran and can provide some form of proof, then just let your recruiter know and they'll shorten your contract from a year down to 9 months. Let's see here. I don't understand this one. Steven said, will the rooms have heat or is maintenance afraid to go into the rooms? Currently at the campus end, they probably switched over to air conditioning. If you're in the Springfield and you're asked about heating or cooling, I do know, because I've asked multiple times for people, that it's all in one unit. So it's either all heating or all cold. In Missouri, that's a big issue because our weather goes like this. It's like 60 today and it was like -5 last week. So if you have any concerns about your hotel, just call the front desk. Get Fit Trucker said how hard it would be to become a dispatcher with no experience. So if you're interested in working in-house, if you're currently in Prime, you can switch to another role, whether you're in-house or driver, any role. You have to have at least a year typically before they'll move you over. And we do have lots of drivers that have become fleet managers or like work on our live loaded calls desk. So if you're interested, just reach out to Human Resources or check out priming.com under work in-house. And as far as no experience, they have their own training program for our fleet managers. So
Oh, really?
They required, it takes like typically several months. They work like nights for a period. They work on the live loaded call. They do like cross training. They implemented that a while back. This is a great question here. Shy Guy, do I need a permit before applying?
Yes, you definitely need your permit.
Easy question. We changed that in 2019, I think. We used to be able to let people come in and get their permit in Missouri, but I think it was due to the Real ID Act or some kind of regulation change in Missouri. We're no longer allowed with that option. So you do have to get in your home state. In a certain way, it makes it easier though because students don't have to worry about passing their permit test during orientation. We'd have people freaking out.
Yeah,
like,
and within a few days
I
of
didn't pass
orientation.
the first day. I didn't pass the second day. Am I going to be sent home? And you would be sent, like, it would happen from time to time that people wouldn't study. They'd get here and then they would never pass it and they would have to go home. So it was kind of a lose-lose situation. So we're excited now that people can come in and have that part of their process already done. It is a little bit annoying due to the DMVs being backlogged, but I think most of them are starting to catch up. So if you have any questions on that, just reach out to recruiting. But you do need your permit in your home state, Class A, and then you'll need to add tanker. Are we hiring out of Fort Lauderdale, Florida?
I would say no.
No, that's
I think that's
south,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Are you from Florida?
Yeah.
Yeah, you should know. We're not hiring below Lake Okeechobee, basically. There's just not a lot of freight that goes down there. So Fort Lauderdale, Miami, they're just not good for us. All right, we're getting up to 32 minutes. We're worried about my camera dying. I just got a new camera and I did not charge the battery, so fail. Shannon said, how long after I apply will it take to do the DOT physical and do I need that before permit? So that's another good question because we do now pay for your physical as well. So within this last year or so, we changed that. You'll get the permit in your home state. Once you apply, get approved, pay your $100 entry fee, we can schedule your physical and your drug test, and you can go get the permit certified. So you can go ahead and get the permit now. Typically in most states, some states require you to have that medical certificate. But if you go ahead and apply, then your recruiter will walk you through that whole process. And then once you complete orientation, we do refund the $100 entry fee, and that gets loaded the first Friday after you complete orientation. That gets loaded back onto your ComData card. A lot of people are like, I never got reimbursed, but it automatically goes back on your card onto the loan side that you can just pull off like cash.
So Fijian Princess is asking, if I'm moving to Florida and I'm already here at Prime for 3 years now, does that South Florida still apply to me? Well, no, I would.
If you're moving, yeah, you need to check with your fleet manager to make sure that it's okay. You have to get approval from them because we can't necessarily guarantee that you would be able to take that truck to the area.
Okay.
If you're a lease operator, typically it should be okay because you're paying for that fuel, but you'll want to double check with them before moving. We're going to have a few questions about the Twit Card. So does every driver need a Twit Card? You'll be required to get the Twit Card after you apply. So you don't have to have it coming in, but we do want you to come have it once you get here. And what's the reason for that?
To verify through the government. It's a transportation workers identification credential.
Where do you use it?
The ports. You use that at the ports when you go to pick up produce, loads, or whatever, but mainly at the ports.
And if you don't have it, don't you have to pay a fee?
Yeah, you have to pay a fee if you don't have it. But some of these ports sometimes make you pay for a fee, even if you got one.
Oh.
But it's a lower fee than the normal fee you would pay. But yeah.
Yeah, we've got another question here about Florida. Yeah, so if you're in the fleet right now and you're looking, you need to double check with your fleet manager to make sure that area is good because when we hire you, we're under the agreement that we can get you to that area. We actually run your zip code through our system, which looks at the loads in your division and make sure that, you know, it's a good place to live. We don't want you to do a lot of deadhead miles, because if you're a company driver, that's Prime eating that money, and if you're a lease driver, then you're eating that money. So lose-lose. Ian said, how long is the training program?
Well, the program could be, let me see. Now it's going to be a couple of weeks for the PSD. Come back, get your CDL, and then the 30,000 miles, maybe 8 to 9 weeks. Again, it all depends on the trainer and any home time between that training process. Also, any breakdowns, if any. But, you know, it all depends on the trainer. So it's hard to say. But if you go straight through the whole program, then you're looking at
3 to 4 months.
Yeah. No, 3 months. 3 months at tops. Yeah, not 4 months.
Yeah, the average, I think as of last year, the average time from orientation to CDL passing the exam was 21 days. So some people can pass it in 2 weeks, especially if you have like prior military experience or if you worked on a farm and like were on trucks. A lot of people can pass it sooner. So great question. And our first time pass rate last year, what was it? 67%?
I don't know
70%?
that number.
It's really high. So that means you're passing all 3 sections on the first time. Junior said, I left in January and planning on coming back in May. I was at 24,000 miles and an accident moved me from 60 to 50. What I'm required to do, 40,000, yada, yada. You're going to have to check you'll have to reapply. And then when you reapply, if you're a rehire and we're in the middle of training or about to upgrade, they'll process that and confirm how much, if you need anything, how much that would be. So the first step in coming back to Prime would be to apply, connect with the recruiter, and then they'll do what we call a rehire vote. Typically it takes 2-3 days. They check with your fleet manager when you were here before, the safety department, they review any incidents, accidents, tickets, whether you're in training or not. And if you have any like negative balance and stuff, they'll pull all that to go over with you.
There's one that says, I worked at Prime and I had an accident during my training, then I got disqualified. He says, but I don't know why I can't come back. Who would he have to talk to?
Probably your fleet manager or safety department. The recruiters don't have a say in that. They're using the rehire information that we get from those departments. Typically, I tell people to start with the fleet manager and have that conversation there. If you are terminated from Prime, typically, or any company, any trucking company, we usually can't work with you again, consider you for rehire until you get a minimum of 1 year safe driving with another carrier. And it's still not a guarantee at that point. We require that before we would even consider you again.
Yeah. Nikki's information will be in the description below, Billy. Congratulations on that, man.
Philip said, thanks guys. Junior, hope to meet with you one day. I was giving Junior crap yesterday because
thank you, Philip.
It's all going to his head. No, Junior is a good guy. Maddie B said, this is a question we get a lot in recruiting. He's from South Florida. Would you consider if you know, hiring somebody there if they don't need home time? Unfortunately, because we get such a high volume of interest from there, we can't do that because it would be a nightmare to try to track, you know, who we told what to, and they just can't open that can of worms right now. I have checked multiple times, but yeah, you have to get a physical address and update your application and your CDL or your permit to an area where we actually hire from. Big John Fort Worth, we talked about this earlier, but the new Pete's coming to the fleet. Andrew Martin, who's the head of leasing, he said yesterday at the driver advisory board that they're still reviewing. They haven't made an official decision yet. And tomorrow we're going to do a live video with Robert Lowe and Andrew Martin, some people from Success Leasing to answer questions about leasing, lease programs, truck models. So if you have any of those, definitely tune in tomorrow. We're going to be going live at 12:45 Central Time on our Facebook and YouTube for Prime. And we're also going to be doing a Q&A with Robert Lowe, our owner and founder. He founded the company 51 years ago today, March 3rd, 1970. Yeah. And he's going to be doing live tomorrow. So if you have any questions, you can submit them now. You can comment below on our video and let us know what you want to hear. Or you can ask questions tomorrow live during the video. So we're excited about that one. B6300 said, are we hiring out of Chicago? So we're hiring from all lower 48 states, really everywhere. Some no-go zones for us are South Florida, and El Paso is not a good area either. All right. I think that's a lot of stuff.
Yeah,
We'll try to
yeah.
go back through the questions. If you're watching this after the fact, continue to ask us questions. We'll go through and answer as many as we can. But 30,000. So get excited.
The new TNT miles requirements.
Yes, 30,000 if you're coming through the Prime Training Program without your CDL. If you have any questions, recruiting is available Monday through Friday from 8 to 5 Central Time at 888-664-9121. On Saturday and Sunday, we have a skeleton crew, but we do have people available from 9 to 5. You hired in Long Island, New York? Yes, New York, all of New York. North Florida, yes. We're hiring. So we're currently hiring for all 4 divisions, and the recruiters can type in your zip code and figure out, they can let you know which divisions you'd be eligible for. For flatbed and refrigerated, they pretty much hire from all over 48 states. For tanker, they hire from Missouri, kind of east of the Mississippi River, no Texas, no Florida. And then intermodal has pockets where they hire, like Chicago, Illinois is a great area, Southern California, and sometimes like in Washington State. We can let you know. All right. Andrea, I see your question keeps popping up here about solo dispatching during PSD and TNT. Prefer my trainer to be awake during my driving time for max instruction and safety. So PSD is, there's no team driving during that first phase. For the CDL instructor phase, without your, with your permit before you get your CDL, the instructor, like Junior, has to be awake the whole time that you're driving.
On a passenger seat while you're driving, exactly.
Yeah, awake, alert, not distracted, not filming.
And the whole purpose of that is to make sure you're driving well. You're learning the whole process of inputting everything, watching your mirrors, looking ahead, traffic around you, the trailer, the turn, a lot of stuff, preparing you for the TNT phase. Then at that point, you're on your own. Not really, but at that point is where you run the truck as a team, and then I get to go in the back and sleep while you're driving your shift, and then vice versa. So
yeah, and then for TNT, it is more of a team scenario where you can drive for up to 11 hours a day, and then the trainer can drive for 11 hours a day.
And the team miles, the miles that we're talking is the truck miles. So not just the student, not just the trainers, team miles, the whole truck. Whatever miles the truck is running, that's the miles that we're looking to do. So
how does that work when you do both PSD and TNT phases? So how does that work when somebody's getting in your truck and they're moving from that CDL phase to the TNT, which you do the whole thing?
Yeah.
So are they ready to jump right in and go full team, or is there like a transition period?
No, with me, it is ready to go. First load, closes curtain. Curtains closed. I'm ready to go to bed. And the reason is because I picked them up PSD. I train them my way. I mold them to what I want them to do when they go TNT. So when we go TNT, I know he's a good driver. So everybody's different.
Some people don't do both phases.
Some people don't do both phases.
If someone would get in a truck and the trainer's like, let's go, and they're not ready, is there?
Well, yeah, definitely say something. Say, hey, look, I'm not quite ready to go by myself. Can you watch me? Some trainers will do that. Some trainers won't, but
And that's a conversation when you get paired up with your TNT trainer, when they say, hey, we're ready. You need to have a conversation with the TNT trainer before you get on their truck.
Yeah, because once you get on a truck, there's a process, and they're going to question, something you should have said before. So if there's an issue with anything on any trainer, speak up then. Say something then. Hey, I'm not quite ready. He's going to have to watch me or something. Then if he's ready, a go type of trainer, then that's not going to be a good pair.
And who is their manager?
What do you mean? The
person to go to. So
if you're in the PSD part of the training, you would go to Stan Kaspersky or Steve Larson. If you're in the TNT phase, then you would talk to Steven Tassin.
Yeah, and your fleet manager is going to be your first go-to person.
Right.
And their information's in the Prime app. A lot of it it all comes down to communication. So most people are willing to work, and go above and beyond if you just communicate and let us know. Don't wait till it gets bad enough until you're crying. Let us know what's going on so we can help out. And, the majority of trainers here are awesome. I hear so many cool stories and success stories, and it's good. So don't be scared there. We're here to help.
Yeah.
So some people are still confused about the 30,000, 50,000. It just changed this week. So if you're currently here at Prime, reach out to your fleet manager to discuss. They just started this process officially today, I think. I think the word got out yesterday But if you're currently here and you think you qualify, again, no accidents, no tickets, no nothing. You have to have a clean and clear training experience to hit 30,000.
So Philip was asking, so what about the driver that already did it over 30,000? He had to complete his 60K, or is he done? No, he's done. He's got to reach out to dispatch. And again, the sooner the better, because if there's a list, he will be put on that list. I'm not saying that every person that's completed their 30,000 miles, they got a truck for. No, but there's a process, and they got to make sure that he's good with the safety. No,
it's retroactive. So they're going through right now. The first people that are going to get preference are the people that are past that mark and closer, the higher mileage first, and they're working their way backwards. They have a list, but you want to confirm with your fleet manager you're on the list. We don't, we're human. Some stuff can fall through the cracks. So always reach out and let us know if you have any questions. All right, we've gone too long here. This is a good one more question, because you've done this. Not in this order, but Hussein said, can you go straight lease purchase after TNT? Let me give my internal. I've never been a driver, but what I tell my people is, if you've never been in trucking before, give it 6 months to a year before you go into a lease. If you have previous business experience or previous trucking experience, or you have a family or friend here that's already done it and can help walk you through it, great. But don't feel rushed into it. Prime doesn't personally care. You can be a company driver, you can be a lease driver. Either way, we're happy you're here, and we won't force anybody to do either. So it's your choice, but you've actually done a lease purchase. What is your take?
But definitely do the regular lease first before you do a lease purchase. But if you wanted to do a straight lease purchase after the TNT, I think there's a 30-day where you have to do a lease truck or do something before you purchase the truck. I'm not sure on that.
I don't know that one.
Right.
I know you can go straight into a standard lease. I thought you could go lease purchase too, but most people don't. We don't ever run into that on the recruiting side because most people don't have $14,000 down. You have to have $14,000 to do straight into a lease purchase.
You want to make sure you get a hang of the game first, understand the business, what this is all about. Is Prime even going to be a good fit for you?
Yeah.
So
the standard lease is what most people start with because it's no money down, no credit check, and it's a walkaway lease. And you can do like a short lease. Some people like doing that to get a used truck that has less than 3 years to go, and do that, a partial lease, and then decide. But people go lease and then go back company, and people go company and go lease. It's just personal preference. Some people go lease and have 4 trucks.
Yours is not a touchscreen, right?
No,
okay,
I thought it was too. I thought we're using my laptop here. I'm in TNT now and have 28,000 miles, no tickets or accidents. So yeah, it'll be.
Make sure you got no critical events as well.
Yeah, no service failures, no nothing. They want you to be, awesome. But yeah, have that conversation with your fleet manager, and you're not there yet. So the eligibility for upgrades. So it's not instant. You're not going to poof and be in Springfield and be like, I'm here for upgrade. It's a process. Our drivers are OTR, so start talking about it now. Figure out when. But we're gonna have a backlog. So we have people right now that are close to that 50,000 or over 50,000 mark. So we're working our way backwards. So give us 2-3 weeks to shake it out. But we wanted to get the news out there because drivers are starting to be routed in. Manual or automatic trucks, we have all automatic trucks available for company drivers and our standard lease program. He has a manual because he's bought his truck.
Right, yeah.
What is the pay? Balsar said, what is the pay for company and lease drivers? So company drivers are paid by the mile. All of our pay rates start at 46 cents per mile and up. I said that wrong last week. I said 45, and my little sisters who's in payroll called me out on it, but it's 46 cents per mile and up. We change it every summer, so we have to rememorize it. They've gone up 7 or 8 years in a row. For company drivers, then independent contractors, we pay a percentage of the line haul, and it is
72%.
72% for refrigerated flatbed and 71% for tanker. And then how does the fuel surcharge work? Are you going to explain that?
No, I'm not good at that.
It's not 100% of the fuel. It was in the past. We changed it several years ago. I think the contract changed in like 2015 or something. But we guarantee that you'll pay no more than 99 cents per gallon if you get at least 7 miles per gallon. Is that right? Don't quote me on that.
I don't know.
I think that's it.
All right, just read that one and the last one. I guess you can go straight lease, lease purchase. So
okay, I had 14,000 when I finished TNT and did Ace lease after upgrade without doing a standard lease first.
Okay,
awesome. That's why I love doing lives. I learn a lot this way. Is Prime hiring in Salt Lake City? I'm planning to send it next week. Yeah, so we're currently hiring across the nation, and we have orientation to Utah, Pittston, Pennsylvania, and Springfield, Missouri, which is where we're at. I feel like there was another one that was in here that was good that I wanted to hit on. How old do you need to be to work there? You do need to be 21 years of age to drive for prime. And the reason for that is we don't have anything that's intrastate to start. And so you're going to be crossing state lines, and the requirement is 21. And there's no max. We get that one a lot. Am I too old to drive? No. We have drivers of all ages. We did poll our stats, and our average age of drivers, what was it yesterday? Did you see that? 41.37, I think?
Yeah, 41.5.
Something like that. 41 and a half years of age.
Yeah.
But the minimum is 21. Oh, here it is. This is a good one to end on. Maybe. You guys just have great questions today. All right, Eric said, can I request a specific trainer? Sorry if you've answered that already. We have not. So how does that work? Because you get requested a lot.
Well, you can request a specific trainer, but they have to be available.
And qualified.
Yes. So you have to get with them first, because if you put them on the application, they're going to call them up and say, hey, are you available to train? I see that you're not qualified, vice versa, whatever. But they'll get with them first, and if they don't know, then you won't be able to get them. So make sure that you reach out to the person that you need to be, or that you want to be trained by, and make sure that you both are on the same page.
Yep.
Because they will call the trainer up and confirm that.
Yeah, and the fleet manager, recruiting is supposed to check with the fleet manager to make sure they're qualified. And then sometimes we just want to know so we can route, like if it's the trainer's first time, if they need to take like the training class, we want to make sure they're signed up for that trainer class and routed in.
Yeah.
If you're going to be their first student. This one is, well, let me see. Matthew.
All right, just a few more because it's long.
Junior's exhausted.
I don't like doing long videos, so.
Can you choose which terminal to report to for orientation? You can, but typically we're going to send you to your closest
nearest
location.
one, yeah.
Because you're going to be, we try to pair you up with somebody that's a fleet manager in that terminal. And then Junior said, how often should a trainee contact their fleet managers? I was told by my trainer not to contact them unless I really need them. Seems fishy to me. Seems fishy to me too. That's not okay. What do you say?
Reach out to them and ask them if that's true.
The fleet manager is your manager. The trainer is not. It is their truck, so there's a respect level there. You need to have that communication and relationship to trust your trainer. But your fleet manager is your manager at Prime. You are Prime's. During the first phase, you're not an employee yet, but you joined Prime. You didn't join a random trainer's truck.
Right.
So they need to respect that. If you have any concerns, definitely reach out after this. Anybody that's watching, if you ever have trainer concerns, like you said, Stan Casterkey is over our training program. Then we have Steve Larson, who helps with pairing. Steve Tasson is really over TNT. And we have several other people that can help out.
Yeah. So
just say something. But yeah, you should be having open communication, and you should be starting that in the training phase. Thinks you heard that because didn't build that relationship. Yeah, definitely. The relationship with the fleet manager is very important, wouldn't you say?
Yeah,
Who's
definitely.
Your fleet manager? Mary Hamilton, right?
Yeah, I don't know.
All right. Oh, here we go. Greg Kelsey said, I talk to my fleet manager all the time. Yeah, you need to. You need to build that relationship.
And as a PSD student, you're supposed to talk to them once a week. And then during the TNT phase, you're going to talk to them every time you do a live load call or live dispatch, as you say, or anytime you have any questions or concerns about a load or anything on the road. So
because you want to build that relationship, because you're going to keep that fleet manager once you get into your own truck.
If you go lease, if you go company.
Well, you could switch. It depends.
It depends, yeah.
Typically, you keep the fleet manager, but either way, it's good to build that relationship, and the process is going to be similar with other fleet managers too. And then Mad Dog Trucking said, I was told by my fleet manager contact him once a week or when I have a problem. So yeah, same thing that Junior just said. Yeah, communication. All right, last comment here. Hey Junior, I'm a big fan of yours. I'm at Springfield Bay 48. If you have time to stop by quickly, the pressure's on.
All right, that's Spencer. Let me grab lunch real quick, and then I'll be over there, man.
All right. I think that's good. Thanks everybody for tuning in.
Yes.
Hopefully you can hear and see us okay. We're trying some new stuff because you guys have complained about, I hate to pick this up because it might, but we got a new microphone set here. We got a couple more. I just got them in. So we're figuring it out, trying to do better for you guys, get the information out. But tune in tomorrow. We'll have Robert Lowe. We'll have our weekly driver meeting at 12:45 tomorrow, Central Time, priming Facebook page and YouTube. And if you're not following Junior already, you can follow him on YouTube at JuniorHonduras.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
It's pretty easy to find. And he's got 4 trucks down the road. So.
And I usually drive the white one.
What are the other ones? Blue?
I got 2 blue ones and a black one. So if you see the blue ones or the black one, that's not me. I drive the white one.
Imposters.
Because they always get, they go up to the drivers and say, "Is Junior there?" No.
That is kind of confusing.
So,
all right,
guys.
Thanks for tuning in.
Thank you for tuning in. And if you have any questions, comments, leave them below.
Sounds good.
All right.
Be safe.